Are you a real estate agent, realtor, investor, or are you in the real estate business and you need new listings and deals? We have a solution for you, and that solution has guaranteed results. How much would you pay to get face-to-face with a homeowner that wants to sell their home? What if you also got their email address and daytime phone number? And what if this homeowner also scheduled you to come to their door at a set time to meet with you? Sound too good to be true? It isn't. And it is 100% guaranteed for you to meet face-to-face with a real homeowner who really needs to sell their home. Not only will you get this remarkable contact system and its 100% guarantee, at no additional charge, you will get weekly coaching, documents, and training on how to get that homeowner and convert them into a new listing. When you purchase, you'll also get a one-on-one walkthrough so that you can start using the system today. Visit www.thelistingmonster.com. That's www.thelistingmonster.com. Or call Diana Ortiz at 213-706-0040. Stop wasting time the old way. Use a monster and get actual results today.
Welcome to the Honish Report, hosted by Lee Honish. The Honish Report is a look at the real estate market and creating effective marketing plans for realtors or investors to get new listings and deals. Your host, Lee Honish, has over 20 years of experience in real estate, banking, and marketing. Over the last 6 years, Lee has developed cutting-edge marketing and was named one of the most innovative marketers in America. With over 1 million views, Lee continues to be an advocate for the entire real estate community. Enjoy today's show.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. What a beautiful day it is in D.C. If you haven't gone out, it is beautiful. I'm Matt Ammon. I'm with HUD's Office of Policy Development and Research, and I, on behalf of HUD and Secretary Carson, welcome those here in the Brooke Mondale Auditorium and also to those watching online via webcast. Today is June 1, and I know I was a bit shocked. June 1. I mean, where has the time gone? I looked outside today, and I still see my Christmas lights up, those little icicles hanging up. I don't know whether to take them down or just leave them up at this point, but we'll see. But June is here. President Trump issued a proclamation today declaring June 2017 as National Homeownership Month. And as the president said in his proclamation, homeownership is often the foundation of security and prosperity for families and communities, and an enduring symbol of American freedom. Today we mark the beginning of National Homeownership Month with a housing forum examining a new era of homeownership. We have an exciting program planned for today that includes data, dialogue, and a whole bunch of experts to discuss the state of homeownership and to take your questions. But first, it's a pleasure for me to introduce the host of today's forum, HUD Secretary Ben Carson, who will kick off today's events. Mr. Secretary.
Well, thank you all. Delighted to be here, and so happy to see so many people here today. You know, a lot of people have wondered, why would you, a surgeon, be interested in HUD and in home ownership? Well, you know, my entire professional career spent trying to give children a second chance. Many days and nights spent trying to give them life and quality of life, only to send them back into a rotten environment. Now, this is an opportunity to work on that environment, to come full circle. You know, I'm pleased to see so many people here today. And I want to thank all those who've worked so hard to put this forum together. I especially like to thank our panelists who have joined us today: Joel Kahn, Christy Peel, John Spader, and Lawrence Yun, with our moderator, Diana Olick, all distinguished, respected voices who will bring to us very valuable insight. People thrive in a marketplace of ideals. Today, this is our marketplace. We can use our exchange of ideals to make our work better, more human, stronger, and more effective. Today marks the beginning of National Home Ownership Month, a time when we recognize the abiding value of home ownership and rededicate ourselves to making sure that hardworking, credit-worthy Americans have an opportunity to become homeowners. The importance of home ownership is apparent to all of us. Security, certainty, safety, wealth creation, a path forward, self-sufficiency, a place to live with loved ones, to raise our families, the location of our neighborhood. And our homes are the places where our kids, our friends, our pets, our relatives create their worlds. In our homes, we live and grow and thrive together as one. Our founding fathers linked property with happiness and life itself. It is the essence of freedom, the stake in the city and the political system. They saw that home ownership was as vital as commercial, trade, and community. It is the foundation of the economy, the spark for vast investment, lending, and finance. Recently, Reuters published an article entitled Housing Recovery Intact. Indeed it is. After the turbulence of 2008, the market has become relatively stable, secure, and sound. The system clearly is functioning. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. More stability, more growth? Absolutely. But the big shifts that we were seeing have settled down. There's a steady upward climb, and the cycles have become much less dramatic. And we're seeing good news in startups, sales, demand, labor, mortgage rates, stocks, building, turnover, inventory, among the many sides of home ownership. Currently, home ownership rate is 63.6%. In some states, home ownership is above 70%. And first-time home buyers now make up 35% of all home buyers in the last 12 months. Now, these figures represent more than paper, facts, titles, and mortgages. We can see hopes and dreams and aspirations and excitement of home ownership building in our country. And we know that home ownership is the thread that runs through most every aspect of our economy and our nation. This good news will continue. The Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies projects that the United States will add 13.6 million households over the next 8 years and another 11.5 million in the decade that follows that. I'm pleased to say that our own Federal Housing Administration has a strong role to play. The FHA has helped more than 46 million Americans purchase and refinance their homes. An estimated 40% of all first-time home buyers use FHA. And in fact, during our time here today, 4,000 new homeowners will be assisted in their closing by FHA. Just to put that in perspective. Now, of course, there are always going to be some who find bad news and good news. That's part of the marketplace of ideals. We must listen and learn. They worry about lending patterns and down payments, interest rates, rates of borrowing, rates of interest, and many of the other sides of home ownership. And I certainly appreciate those concerns, and we must heed the warnings and the worries. But we must be prudent and wise, far-reaching and visionary. We want to make sure that home ownership is on solid ground now and in the future. We need ethical behavior and risk within smart boundaries and best practices personally and financially. We must follow those practices that are fair, responsible, transparent, and prudent. The bankers, lenders, and investors are not playing with monopoly money. They're playing with hard-earned money of our citizens, and they've been entrusted to safeguard that money. And we must hold them to their duties, fiduciary and otherwise, not just in words, but actions and investments. As we learned in 2008, the consequences of irresponsible behavior are national and international. Yes, international. Our work has far-reaching impact from Helsinki to Hong Kong, from Cairo to Cape Town. And our homeownership policies are examined in places like Iceland, Switzerland, Jordan, and Australia. That's what I mean when I say worldwide. We are under the international microscope. People looking at what happens here. In many ways, the American housing market ripples through the economies of each company, every enterprise, and every country around the planet. In the last few weeks, I've had an opportunity to meet with ambassadors and housing authorities from a number of countries to share ideas about how we can make things better for all of us. Now, let me add a personal comment to our HUD employees. Our words and actions are weighed, scrutinized, and evaluated worldwide every day. That's one reason why our work is so important. We represent America to the nation and to the world. Your hard work matters. So this topic, home ownership, couldn't be more important and more timely. You're going to be treated to a panel discussion with some real experts in this subject. And I want to thank them once again for joining us today. And again, thank all of you for coming. And thanks to each one of you for your work to enhance self-sufficiency, freedom, independence, wealth creation, and the future security of American homeowners. Thank you.
Secretary, thank you for your leadership and for your opening remarks. A little bit of housekeeping. A little later on in the program, we'll be fielding your questions from those assembled here, both in Brook Mondale and also online. So we have two ways you can submit questions. One is by email at findyourplace@hud.gov, findyourplace@hud.gov, one word, and on Twitter using the hashtag findyourplace. So before we get into the dialogue and discussion part of the program, I thought we'd take a quick look at the housing and market data and what it is telling us. So for that, we turn to our PD&R's own Kevin Kane. Kevin is our chief housing market analyst who will walk us through market conditions as of the first quarter 2017. Kevin?
Thank you, Matt. Good afternoon, everybody. They always say that at a conference you don't want to talk after the smartest guy in the room, so I guess I drew the short straw talking after the neurosurgeon. But at least the panel members won't have that same dilemma that they'll have to deal with after coming after me. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Randall Goodnight and Wendy Ip, who are two of our field economists for HUD, who put together all the maps that you'll see in my presentation this afternoon. First, we're going to look at the nation's economy, then we'll look at the sales and rental markets, and finally we'll discuss a little bit about home ownership. The first figure that you're going to see here, let me slide back here. A little sensitive on the button. First figure shows the year-over-year percentage change in non-farm payroll since 2007, looking at both the 12-month and 3-month moving averages through March of 2017. Non-farm payrolls are a measure of the number of jobs in the economy. The 12-month average is shown in blue, and the 3-month average is shown in red. During the 12 months ending March 2017, non-farm payrolls averaged 145 million jobs. This was up 1.7%, or 2.4 million jobs from a year ago. The rate of growth was down from a 2%